Hey guys, Cyrus bringing you the patch rundown. Patch 724 coming out on the 6th or the 7th? What is today? It's going to come out on the 6th. Alright, 6 in the morning. I haven't been doing patch rundowns consistently because if I feel that the patch does not have any kind of like really good information, then I just want to skip it. But I'm here with my buddy Hayden. Hayden, say hi.
What's up?
Hayden's going to provide some fun commentary.
Yeah.
Obviously, extremely good player. No, he's not.
Hell
No,
yeah.
you're the best player, Hayden, in my book.
Hell yeah, man.
Okay, so Aurelion Soul, his ultimate cooldown gets reduced. That's fucking useless. This is absolutely nothing.
It
skip
sounds
that.
like it'll help like ASOL people, but like, who the fuck even plays that champ right now?
I mean, he's not the worst champ in competitive. It's just like the ultimate reduced cooldown, like it's only going to be valid in the early game and the mid game, and it's only by 10 seconds. So it's not going to be an extreme difference. Bard base health regen goes up, so Bard's laning phase is going to go up, and Molly's
Didn't they increase his base damage?
Yeah, the meat base damage is going up by 10, so like every 5 meats he's going to get another 10 damage, so like by the mid game, if he has 50 meats, then he's going to get another 50 damage per meat auto attack. So that's actually pretty good. So Bard, you know, plus 2 points, who the fuck knows. It's not really going to change too much about the champion, but he is going to be like, he's still going to be viable in solo queue for anybody who's going to be playing him support. I wouldn't really recommend it in like a super low elo though.
Yeah, no, fuck that shit, man.
Anyway, Camille. Shield duration is going up to 2 seconds. That's actually really good for dueling in the top lane. Especially like in the mid game around the level 6 to 9 mark. Because that's when you're going to be, you're probably going to be dueling a lot. And fighting your minions if you're going to be split pushing toward the first blood tower or possibly after you do the lane switch. So viable in competitive and solo queue, very, very good for Camille. And the window to recast Q has increased, but the delay for the empowered attack is still 1.5 seconds. So this is really odd to me because now you can hold on to your empowered Q for 2 more seconds. So like you could like, if your flash comes up in a second, like you E to the wall, jump, flash Q, and like one hit someone. Because remember that like Camille, like a lot of people, even in competitive, like Triforce, Ravenous Hydra, or Titanic Hydra into like full damage Camille. Like it's actually insane, crazy melee carry. Have you like how much experience do you have playing Camille, Hayden?
Playing Camille? I don't play that champ. I've seen art. It's really fun, so I kind of want to play her, but.
Holy fuck. Actually, hold on. I think I just remembered something. Yeah, okay, no, we're good.
Alright.
Holy fuck. I just scrolled all over down. It's not what we intended. Camille.
Next Darius.
Darius got changed? What the fuck?
Passive bleed damage and bonus AD at max attacks increase.
Okay.
I mean, doesn't he kind of need a buff? Like, pressy attack sucks for that guy, so.
Yeah, there's no like ideal rune for him. I mean, press the attack isn't bad because like he can use it in lane, and when he uses it in lane, he's always going to get 3 auto attacks into his ultimate. But it's really not the best. You might as well take Grasp of the Undying, and really, if you take Grasp of the Undying into like a matchup against Gnar or a matchup against anyone ranged, Kennen's not bad. Like Kennen is still like a viable pick top lane in competitive. He's kind of been forgotten, but he's very strong. But that Grasp of the Undying is useless against both those champions. But anyway,
Yeah.
extra damage, so 15 per second. 3 per second per stack. And then bonus AD is going up to... Wow, actually, wait, it scales per level. And it's going up each individual level now. It's going 5 per level, and it's giving an overall increase of 30. And it's actually going to make his level 3 stronger because he's going to get 10 extra AD.
If he can get max stacks.
Yeah, but if like, it's going to mean he's that much scarier in the in-between levels. Like, before he only got 35 between levels 4 and 6, but now he has 45, 50, 55. So his level 4 is really strong, and his level 6 is really strong. The level 5, you probably aren't dueling at level 5 because there's a lot of other champions that are really, really good at level 5 who can abuse press the attack or other runes a lot better. But those little key power spikes, or even like the level 3, where you're going to have up to 10 more attack damage or even 20 more attack damage at level 6 than you would normally have, could really, really, really change the fight. And that 20 attack damage on your ultimate, like, that's another 40 true damage on your ultimate at 5 stats.
Yeah.
Like, you're looking at big damage buffs, actually. They're not really going to change Darius, though. Remember, Darius is still, like, D tier, maybe C tier in competitive. He's really just not useful. He's not really that great of a split pusher. He's really not that great of a dueler. At least not against the meta champions, or not against people like Flora, or Jace, or anyone who can keep him at bay or at range. So definitely non-competitive. But in solo queue, if you can win lane, especially with the level 3 advantage and this level 6 advantage, and you can press that and use this, use the extra damage you have in order to get a lead, then Darius is still viable in solo queue. So, good solo queue buff for the Darius fans who probably still exist. I played fucking Darius today. Evelyn's recommended items are updated. That's good. When camouflaged, Evelyn is now properly warned when she is revealed by a turret. Good.
The large magic was a shred now. Positive.
It's
great.
I guess I don't know. Bug. It's just general bug fixes. Like, honestly, like nothing. Like, nothing's real. I'm just gonna fucking draw all over it. Ezreal. Hey, got nerfed again. Hey, we're back. All right. So a little fun fact. All right. So like, Ezreal's Q used to be a 1.0 AD ratio, right? It might have been 1.05. Like, I'm not entirely sure, but earlier this season, it might have been like patch 7.8, 7.9. They were like, hey, Ezreal's pretty shit. Let's buff it to 1.1. And then, like, they come along, like, patch 7, like, 16 or 17, I don't really remember, and they're like, hey, guys, let's make it 1.25, or I thought it was 1.2, but it says 1.25 right here. Like, this is garbage. Screw the balancing team for that. It was really funny, but no. Anyway, it's back to 1.1. Ezreal jungle is, like, gonna be a little gutted, because his clear time is going to get like pretty ruined by that. But you are going to still see Klepto as. It's just going to be not as. It's just going to be not as strong. Like, you're looking at a 0.15 AD reduction, which means you might see an average. I mean, if every Ezreal is 150 to 200 AD, then you're looking at a possible 20 to 25 damage, or minus 20 to 25 damage on your Q, per Q. So, not too bad. Ezreal definitely still viable, and definitely still viable and competitive, especially with the Kleptomancy. And even, a lot of people haven't really been playing it, but Ezreal Electrocute is not bad if you're going to play for like an early game focus, especially in solo queue. Not competitive, but in solo queue, especially for this low elo people. Hey there, much love. Alright, Galio nerfs, that's what I want to see. Wait, no, Galio buff.
Oh my god, they just added a potential point for it.
Alright, okay, wait.
He still gets guaranteed.
So wait, hold on. His passive went down by 0.2, but they'd add that his shield Durand gets a 0.2 ratio, so they just moved it to his passive. Wait, except it can scale up to 0.6. So
Yeah.
what the fuck are they doing? Why? Why are you doing
And
this?
they buffed.
Alright, look. Galio was like tier 1. Like low tier 1. Like for competitive. Now he's probably gonna be like fucking tier 1, high tier 1, like almost god tier. Like he's gonna come back to mid lane.
Jeez.
Honestly, like that's ridiculous. Like,
That's a lot of damage.
Like they took away damage from him on like an ability that was really useful because you can use Colossal Smash multiple times per
A lot
fight.
of times. Yeah, if you hit your abilities.
But they just went ahead and were like, alright, well let's take all the damage that he lost from Colossal Smash and then put it on Shield of Durand. And not only just put the scaling ratio on Shield of the Durand, but let's give it a base damage too. 20 to 60 per charge at level 1, 60 to 180. So if you just instant pop W, like it'll like do a little bit of damage, but if you full charge it, it'll actually do a fuck ton. That's really annoying. Fixed above where taunt duration is partially channeled W cast were sometimes shorter than intended. Well, at least it's bug fixed now that it's also broken. Fun. And his E went down on cooldown, which is annoying. Because, like, that was the one ability that had, like, a longer cooldown that you couldn't, like, really spam. I don't know. Definitely tier 1 and competitive. And honestly, solo queue, this is going to be so good in solo queue. Because remember, Shield of Durand, it can get really fucking big. The diameter goes up to about, like, 600 or so, whereas the Colossal Smash only had a diameter of about 200. So your effectiveness area is actually going to be much better, even though you're getting about the same amount of damage, and that same amount of damage can actually be a lot more damage. So Galio overall up in the tier list, up in solo queue, up in competitive, up in every way, shape, and form. The only thing that went down with this is that the Colossal Smash can't be used so much in lane for wave clear. It's just not going to be as effective, but that's fine. Ivern changes. When's the last time you saw an Ivern?
Hello?
Yo. When's the last time you saw an Ivern?
Ivern? The last time I saw an Ivern, it was me. It was like, ago. It was before runes, so like
Wow.
Jesus, man, I not play this champ anymore.
Yeah, he kind of like fell off the wayside. Everybody just disappeared. So Grove health costs. It went down overall. So what this means is that Ivern will not be punished for farming. Or the punish for farm is going to go way down. And not way down, but it's going to go down like a decent amount. And what this means is Ivern is going to be able to stay around in early clears. And actually stay more healthy.
Yeah.
So, and because he's more healthy, he's going to be less susceptible to invades. And because he's going to be less susceptible to invades, he won't die so much and he won't be so weak in the early game. And also having more HP is going to make sure that he's actually able to put pressure in lanes. In the early game, like levels 1 to 4. Whereas before, like level 3 Ivern walks in a lane with like 2/3 health, not really scary. He might walk in a lane almost full health, and he's actually going to be, he might have both of his buffs already, and he's going to be useful, at least more useful than he was. This isn't really a huge nerf, so like while Ivern will go up, and he's definitely going to go up in competitive on the tier list, he's still probably tier 2, and that's low tier 2. Because he just doesn't have neutral objective control, which is something that you really, really need as a jungler, especially when you're competing with the current meta junglers, like Elise, Lee Sin, Kha'Zix. Like, these people can smite Baron really easily, and especially when Kalista is really in the meta, Ivern just has no chance at smiting the Baron. Like, he's just not going to be effective. So I wouldn't really recommend Ivern in solo queue, but maybe we might see some more buffs for him before the new season, and if that happens, he might come back in competitive with a couple teams, because I'd like to see Ivern in a spot where he's not overpowered, but he's not underpowered either.
Yeah.
Jarvan nerfs, that's good. So just a little bit damage down on Jarvan's Q, not at level 1, but at level 6. So this is not hurting Jarvan's early game. And they also minus 2% on current health damage. So this is not an early game nerf. It will nerf his early game by like a couple damage, but it's going to be really rare that someone's going to live with like exactly 20 HP and maybe you die because they got 1 extra auto attack. That's going to be a really, really, really rare situation that you're going to come across. So Jarvan's still good in solo queue, probably low tier 1 in solo queue, and he's definitely also low tier 1 in competitive as well. Depending on who's jungling him, depending on the jungler. Certain junglers can actually make him like pretty good. Karthus buffs. When's the last time we saw a Karthus change?
Dude, don't even know. This champion is ancient.
The champion is ancient. Right.
Was the last change like when they fucking updated his visuals? No, that can't be it, man. I don't know.
Yeah, they updated his visuals, but I don't know if they ever like changed anything.
Changed his, yeah.
Like he's got the wall still.
The fucking wall.
The
man.
fucking wall. It's so funny. His ultimate is getting a 0.15 AP buff though. And for like a champion like Karthus, who you can like stack a shit ton of AP on, like when you have 700 AP, like that's another like 105 damage. Like that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it's hitting 5 people, so it's like a bonus 500.
Yeah, very
525 damage in a team fight.
Yeah, Karthus goes up. Probably up in solo queue. I mean, I'm not gonna say Karthus is the worst solo queue champion, but like you're not doing that much, especially in this meta. This meta does not really favor the solo queue Karthus, at least not in a low level of play. Maybe if you're like D3 plus, like you can fuck around with Karthus, but that's stretching it. Like, good luck if you're a Karthus player, because holy fucking shit.
Yeah, good luck with what?
Oh, but Leona got
fucking game.
Leona got mini nerfed. That's fine. This isn't gonna change much. She's gonna go down in solo queue from like god tier to like high tier 1. So she's still really, really good. Keep playing Leona if you're a support main because it's fucking freelo.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, Aftershock Leona, just too strong. Right, what's this change on Malzahar? Malzahar wow, holy shit. Malzahar should need to press more buttons to kill people. I agree, Riot. Good job! Good job. Making a champion more interactive. So Malzahar's ult is going down by 50 plus 0.3 AP, which is an overall average of about Wow, he's losing like 300 damage on his ult late game.
Yeah.
That's pretty
sizable
bad.
chunk. Yeah. Can't just our people to kill him. That drops some other shit.
Yeah. Well, I hope this like drops Malzahar, because I mean, for anyone who didn't know, Malzahar was pretty much god tier in competitive this past patch, but maybe this will make him go down to tier 1. And it was really odd that Malzahar was god tier in competitive, because it really it made a lot of 1-3-1 comps work, because what Malzahar does in the late game is it makes him impossible to 1v1. And when if he's impossible to 1v1, then he can sit in the third lane, and if you're running a 1-3-1, your pressure in the other 2 lanes is too high, and Malzahar's presence in a third lane is actually very high because he can push towers with the Voidlings as well, and it was just too strong. So hopefully this will bring him down, but I don't think this is a sizable chunk to Malzahar, because Malzahar still has really, really good mid-game, and is still going to be really, really good in competitive because of his ultimate in the first place.
The design of the champion.
Yeah, the design, because it's a 700 range, point click suppression, and that's just... It's not fair, because you can't QSS... you can QSS it, but you can't cleanse it. So it's really hard to deal with. And especially in the mid-game, when there's going to be a lot of rotations occurring, and Malzahar can just, like, flash R, and then his teammates follow up on the ultimate, and they get a free pick, and that free pick leads into Dragon, or leads into Rift Herald, and that leads into a tower, or that Rift Herald could lead into a tower, and you're also looking at like a possible 2,000 gold lead from just one kill.
Yeah.
And that's just...
It's just the ease of the play that Malzahar...
Yeah, it's like too easy to do. It's too easy to do. Absolutely. Maokai Sleipnir. How do you feel about that, Hayden?
It doesn't really bother me. I think the champ is pretty fucking strong. Like, top lane is pretty good.
He's pretty good top. I think he's tier 1 right now, competitive top, because he gets so tanky that he's really hard to deal with, and he sticks on people really well, and his ultimate's actually really good for neutral objective control. Because I know that I used to play with you, and you played like a ton of Maokai, and you got really, really fucking good at his ult.
Yeah.
Like, when you land it correctly, it's actually very, very potent.
Sure.
I think we played it in 3s though, which is why I was so broken.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the like craziest shit on that second win to the Strand Shield, man.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And get out of lane. It's
absolutely
gross.
Insane. Alright, these Morgana changes. So alright, so no more Spell Vamp, but Spell Vamp's fucking pointless. It's a ancient... I'm gonna bring that word back. Ancient part of gameplay. But now she heals for a % of the damage her ability steals, so it's new Spell Vamp. It's not called Spell Vamp anymore. It's just we're gonna call it new Spell Vamp. And she gets this buff on her W, which synchronizes with this, because this does not... Alright, so the difference between Spell Vamp and this thing called definitely not Spell Vamp is that Spell Vamp originally only procced 1/3. It only heals for 1/3 of damage for AoE spells. Yeah. And this was really weird on Morgana because her W is clearly not AoE. And I think her ultimate also is not single target.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite sad, but what this does is it allows her W damage on champions to actually heal her for a real Spell Vamp, which will actually up the possibility of like mid Morgana in solo queue, but actually it's not going to be good in competitive. This is going to be a solo queue only, and probably not even like too high elo. So
yeah, it seems cheesy.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like it.
but she's gonna get this thing where if she, alright, so her Tormented Soil is going to trigger Soul Siphon every proc of Tormented Soil, because Tormented Soil is going to do damage every like 0.5 seconds. It might be every 0.25 seconds. I'm gonna have to recheck this, because I don't think it's every second. So every 0.5 seconds, I'm going to assume for right now, she's going to lose, or she's going to get 5% of her cooldown for Tormented Soil released. So if she W's and Q's you, and the Q hits, so you're standing on the soil for 0.5 seconds, then the Q hits you, so you're standing on the soil for another 0.5 seconds times 3, and then to get off the soil, you might have to stand on the soil for another 0.5 seconds times 2, if placed correctly. So what this does is 1, 3, 6, 30% CDR on her W is guaranteed. And that is against champions in like the river. And this is also going to proc on large minions and large monsters. So
large minions,
yeah.
That's pretty cool. So that means you get free sustain and
yeah, and you're also going to get free sustain in the jungle. So, like, Hayden, tell me what you're thinking right now for Morgana Jungle.
Dude, Morgana Jungle is so much fun. Like, I remember playing it back when the Banshee, whatever. Do you remember the old AP item? It gave spell vamp.
Yeah.
You would go Morgana, and then you would have double spell vamp, and it actually worked. But yeah, nowadays I don't know. There's a bunch of new ones that are Zanias. I mean, you can take like perfect timing and inspiration, right?
Yeah.
Cheaper Zanias earlier.
Actually, yeah, and you wouldn't even be in laning phase, so like by the time you like gank, by the time you maybe like your third gank or your third jungle clear, you'll be able to Zanias.
Yeah, man.
Because that's
awesome.
You can't use that stopwatch until 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
But anyway, possible jungle Morgana. I'm not going to say anything about competitive jungle Morgana because I don't know how strong it's going to be.
I think it could definitely be a cheesy.
It would be really interesting because like this whole Tormented Soil is infinite cooldown thing, because remember, Tormented Soil procs for 7 seconds, which means it's going to have 14 procs of damage on something like Blue Buff, and 14 times 5 is almost full CDR. Like, that's almost a full cooldown reduction. So, yeah, it's pretty broken. I mean, guaranteed 70% CDR. If you have 30% CDR,
Does this mean you clear the jungle super fast?
Yeah.
Oh, that's... Whew.
Yeah, you'd max W and you'd clear the jungle super fast, or you'd max Q and your jungle clear would not be great, but your ganks would be actually insane.
Yeah.
And they'd be really fucking cheesy.
Probably 2 points in W and then max Q.
Maybe it might be like that.
Maybe 3. I don't know.
Anyway,
definitely want duration CC though.
Yeah. Ornn nerf. Okay, so W cooldown gets reduced. That needed to happen. And Bellow's breath damage goes down by 2% max health. This might be enough. It might be enough to make Ornn where he should be. This might have to go down again by another 2%. I'm just going to hint at that. Ornn is probably not going to be God tier anymore in competitive, because that's what he was, and he's actually God tier in solo queue as well. But he's still going to be tier 1, so for any Ornn players, and anybody who's watching this patch for competitive, for scrims, definitely still a really strong pick, still ban worthy, still very scary. Holy shit! I should still be playing Orin.
I think even like not only is nerfs aren't going to be enough because bringing Orin back down like where he used to be, people figured out how to play the champ. Like it's not just that the champ, like people actually know how to play him now. So I don't even know if he was that bad. It was first released. Well, yeah, because he did current not max health.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't just that. It was the ultimate. You remember the change to his ultimate? It made his ultimate a lot easier to hit because you got locked out of your other abilities and stuff.
Oh yeah,
it was really slow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But now it's actually very easy to aim and very easy to hit, and that's the other change that made him really, really strong.
Yeah, and they're not gonna sell like I don't know. I don't feel like 2% is enough for.
Yeah, I think it might go down by another 2%, if he's still oppressive. But if the thing is, like in top lane for the current meta, there's no counter to Orin that's viable. Like the only champion that I like really think like wants to lane against him and doesn't really give a fuck is probably Trundle. And Trundle's like really fucking good and competitive actually. Like he's very undervalued.
Such a good champ, man.
Yeah.
You can build a lot of damage for split push, and then if you're going up against a tank top lane, you get free tank and team fights.
Yeah. If Trundle like doesn't immediately like shit all over him now, then he might get nerfed again slightly. But I think he's going to be doing better now, especially now that the cooldown's a little bit larger, because the cooldown on Bella's Breath was definitely way too long. But now with 40% CDR, it's going up by another 0.6 seconds at max rank with 40% CDR, and you might not have 40% CDR. So at least almost a second, 0.8 seconds of increased cooldown, which can mean a lot with that ability because it also gives him a shield.
Shield, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so Riven nerf. Alright, take a guess. When was the last Riven nerf? I kind of want to know. Or not nerf, buff. Holy crap. When was the last Riven buff? I'm gonna Google it.
Not season 5, right?
7.10. Oh, wait, this was PvE. Patch 6.17?
6.17, hold.
Was there a Riven buff on 6.17?
I don't know.
Where is that? There was a Riven buff on 6.17. Her ultimate base damage got increased, but that was the last time Riven even got touched, I think. Anyway, yeah, this buff is not too much of a problem. I mean, Riven's definitely going to go up for solo queue, and for any solo queue players, her queue is going to feel a lot better once you get like your first item or two, because it's just going to have a little bit better scaling. So you're gonna see a maximum of plus like 60 damage in the mid game for her Q, which is very good. It's almost an auto attack, I don't. As for competitive, Riven's still like tier 3 or even low tier 2 in competitive, so probably not going to be showing up, but is always a very interesting option if it ever does come out. Shen get nerfed? Wow, Shen got really nerfed. What the fuck?
Yeah, wow.
So Shen gets...
They hit his base damage for...
Yeah.
Because his Q has 3 procs, so that's not just actually 10 damage level.
Yeah, it's minus 30 damage per thing. This is gonna really hurt. Because Shen gets... The thing is, Shen gets multiple Qs in a fight, even in the early game, because it's got a very long cooldown and he uses a lot during the lane. So you might be losing 150 damage just before your first back. And especially when you get into those like mid-game tank versus tank 3-item like noodle fights, like this is going to really reduce Shen's Q, because Shen usually he gets to Q, auto, and then Q again. So he only has like one auto of Q downtime. So if you continuously Q for like 20 seconds, meaning you use Q probably 7 times, you're losing 210 damage, which may be reduced by a lot since you are against a tank in those kind of fights. But Shen was also like god tier pretty much, so he's definitely going to go down. He might even go down to low tier 1, just because like he's not going to be able to keep up with other melee tanks. And he's not going to be able to jump on those ranged carries either as easily. Like, he's not going to be able to deal with Gnar as easily. He's certainly not going to be able to deal with Jace. Jace is going to absolutely destroy Shen now. It's going to be
Shen needs his base damages against champs. Are just going to percent health on his Q with fucking tank, which actually like. He doesn't give a fuck about percent health, and he's taking like 200. And well, it's not that long. Just wreck the Shen, basically.
You've got some lag on your mic there.
Oh, well, basically, unfortunate. And then unless you want to kill yourself,
your internet,
dude. Am I coming through crispy? Crispy clean.
Oh yeah, crispy. Hell yeah. Crispy, just like the Sona buff and nerf. It's a buff and a nerf. What the fuck? Alright, so this is... Alright, first of all, it's nerf, because it's getting... Her Q mana cost is getting increased heavily. Because remember, Sona's base mana pool is pretty low. Especially in the early game. Is low. So this is going to be really hurt. This is going to be de-incentivizing maxing Q.
That makes sense.
Because it was incentive to max Q because it gave you so much damage, but now that damage bonus is getting decreased, but the scaling ratio on Sona's Q is getting increased, so you're going to get more damage from it from the items you buy instead of leveling it up, which means that it's just not going to be worth it. I mean, it may be worth it in some situations to max Q, but it generally will not be. So as for Sona players, you should probably switch to max W. That's probably going to be your best bet. And it's probably still going to be really good in lane anyway. Just because the sustain is going to be really high, the mana cost is not insanely high, and if you're not spamming Q all the time, because remember, this also incentivizes you to not spam Q because it's a higher mana cost, but you can sustain a lot in lane and still be really annoying. Okay, Taric. This Taric nerf, -5 armor, this is completely, like, benign. This means his, like, his early game in the support role is just not going to be as good. But that's fine. Like, this isn't going to change anything late game, it's not changing any of his abilities, it's just, he's not going to be as tanky. And this is still really high base armor compared to a lot of champions. So we are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hayden, you totally can.
Now. Oh, nice. That is base health.
So Xin Zhao's base health down. That hurts his jungle pathing, and his second slash on his W goes down by 0.1 total attack damage. So these Xin Zhao nerfs are really attacking Xin Zhao. Remember, Xin Zhao's top tier, god tier in solo queue. at least right now. And he's tier 1, in, like mid tier 1 in competitive. So what this is going to do, it's going to lower him to about tier 1, like low, or possibly high tier 2 in competitive. It's not going to be major changes, but it is going to be messing up his early game pathing a little bit, and it is going to be, well, he won't be high tier 2. He'll definitely be lower tier 1. He's just going to go down just a little bit in power. As for solo queue, these changes don't really make too much of a difference. I wouldn't worry about them as much. He's still going to be high tier 1 for solo queue, especially if you're lower in elo. So for anyone looking for solo queue help, still play Xin Zhao if you're playing jungle. Very strong. Yorick's base attack damage goes down by 3. This is benign. Alright, give me the Zoe buffs. Or not the buffs. Give me the Zoe nerf. Give me the Zoe nerfs. I don't want them.
Buffs, not the buffs.
Okay. Cooldown now begins after Q cast completes, not when it begins. Okay, that needed to happen. That's a big check mark. Fixed a bug where Zoe's Q recast indicators would sometimes disappear. I mean, okay, bug fix, check. Bug fix, bug fix, bug fix. Okay, those are all bug fixes. So her Q is basically the same, except it's going to be on the longer cooldown, depending on when they recast the Q. Which is going to be really good because Zoe was able to spam the fuck out of that. Duration of spell pickups from minions has been reduced to 20 seconds. Why? I'm just going to write that in all caps and leave it there. Yeah, like, no, that's fucking retarded. Okay. Sleepy Trouble Bubble, refunds on champion hit rather than normal hit now. Drowsy duration is increased, which means the time that it will take for you to fall asleep from becoming drowsy is 2.2 seconds longer. And the growing slow has been reduced, so you are able to escape. So the being able to escape from Sleepy Trouble Bubble, or at least escape to a safer location after you've gotten hit, will be easier. It has been reduced in range by 150 while traveling over the wall. That needed to happen. Big check mark.
Yeah.
Its radius has been increased, decreased, which means its diameter has been decreased from. Hold on, that it's now 500 and it used to be 580. So that's actually really. It shouldn't. I think this number is like weird. I think the way they're measuring the trap radius is weird. I might have to look back on this, but it is going to be smaller after it lands on the ground, which is going to be really good. Mikhail's now remove sleep. Thank you, because I knew that it didn't happen. And I was like, what the fuck? Why? Okay, so these nerfs are probably not what I wanted, but they're at least needed. I don't know why Zoe's going to get more spell pickups, but remember that if Zoe holds on to a spell pickup, she's not going to be able to pick up another one. So this will make, actually, I think it will make Zoe more selective in which one you pick up. So you may actually choose to not pick up some of these buffs or use them very quickly, because you'd rather explore more buffs. Because if, say, a Hextech Proto Belt buff comes up, and I don't want to hold on to that for 4 minutes. I don't want to use that. I want to flash. I want to cleanse. I want to ignite. It's going to incentivize Zoe to either use her spells very quickly, or it's going to incentivize her to be more selective in picking them up. And what this does is if clause, Zoe aims to use more spells aggressively. Aggressively. Sorry, if-then clause is very important. Then Zoe will be putting herself in more higher risk situations overall. And because you're entering more high-risk situations overall, the chance and the probability function of Zoe making a mistake and dying is actually a lot higher. So this is not a very this is a buff, yes, but it's only going to be a buff to the Zoes who are very smart, and it's going to be a buff at the highest level of play rather than a buff at more lower level of play. Because if Zoe is going to be playing a more high risk play style while she's normally a character who wants to stay very far away and play very safe, it's going to force her in situations where she's going to die more often, and because she's dying more often, she's going to be she's not going to be able to snowball because she always stays alive forever. You know, she's incentivized to play more aggressively, and this may actually end up balancing her out as long as people put pressure on her, because putting pressure on her in the early and the mid game is something that you're going to have to do while she's less mobile. So as for that, is Zoe still worth a ban in solo queue? Maybe. If you don't like playing as Zoe, if you play a champion that you feel like you can't deal with Zoe, then sure. Banning Zoe in solo queue is probably still a good idea. But if you are playing jungle, or if you're playing mid, and you're playing someone who can deal with Zoe, and who may want to fight more on occasion, you may be benefited by being able to kill Zoe early game when she's making mistakes by using all of these spells aggressively. And because she's using all these spells, as she makes more mistakes, you can snowball off of that. And if you can snowball, then she won't be a problem. So, and as for Zoe in competitive is like kind of a big question mark right now. I'm pretty sure she's tier 1. That's just a kind of a safer place to put her, rather, because she's still very, very good, but I don't think she's god tier. I think she's just not going to be as useful as someone like Azir right now, especially when Azir's played at full capacity, and definitely not Orianna. Not an organized play.
Mm.
What do you think about that, Hayden?
Yeah, I think shitty Zoes will do worse, and the good Zoes will do better. Basically, is my read of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think shitty Zoes already do pretty poorly, so I don't think the best Zoes need a buff. But whatever. The E nerf was fucking for sure.
Yeah.
Especially the range nerf, because the range on the thing could be fucking stupid sometimes. Especially because I play 3 sometimes. You can abuse the fucking walls and just vision that are insane, just crazy.
Yeah, definitely worth a nerf for 3s, but I don't think Riot cares about 3s anymore.
True.
So anyone from Riot, can you guys like work on 3s?
Yeah, man.
Can you work on balancing Twisted Treeline? Can Twisted Treeline be a competitive game mode?
Oh. Not currently. Not ever.
Yeah, like not currently, but like, come on, Riot, please.
Yeah, this shit is real fun though.
All right. Well, what are these Zyra changes? Okay, so mana regen increase, mana growth stat decrease. So this is a slight buff to support Zyra, because you get to spam more. Passive, the seed spawn range is going down. This is actually going to be good because it allows Zyra to control more easily of plant placement. Let's see, plant duration, 8 seconds at all levels. That's actually way better. That's so much better in the early game. Passive seed duration has gone down to 30 seconds, and W seeds are still at 60 seconds, so that's fine. Plant health is increased to 8, which is odd. I don't know how that's going to function. And plant gold granted on kill is decreased to 3. And with more plants being more useful, that is going to be standard. It's probably going to end up getting the same amount of gold overall from plants, which is usually about 100 a game. So interesting changes to the passive. Damage taken by plants. Okay. Ranged basic attacks have gone up. Melee basic attacks have gone up by ×4. Single target spells have gone up by ×2. Damage over time effects hit them by 1 HP per second. And large minions and monsters do 2 damage to them, while small minions and monsters do 1. This is really interesting. So this is how the plants die. So I don't know why I wrote die with a fucking Y. So single target spells, which you shouldn't really be hitting plants with, will instantly kill plants. Melee basic attacks will instantly kill plants, which is really strong actually, and actually will hurt Zyra. And this is actually not too great right now because the current meta allows for a lot of melee supports who are very tanky.
Dude, Zyra and Leo, man, holy, she just insta kills plants. Yeah. That's not cool. Gets bulldozed by something like a Leo.
Tanky, yeah. It's going to be really hard for Zyra to deal with that. But it looks like Zyra will be able to deal with a lot of other supports, like Zyra into like range supports like Lulu, Sona, or Nami. Like these will all still be decent matchups for Zyra, and Zyra can definitely still win that. And remember, Zyra does have a lot of good laning partners, like Zyra Caitlyn is very strong. And what's even stronger is Zyra Varus. That lane is very strong. I highly recommend this in solo queue for the duo partners.
The Zyra, it looks like they're trying to change her to be a lane or something like that.
A what?
They changed her rampant growth. You reading this or what?
No longer.
Zyra kills an enemy. Rampant growth's recharge time is 100% for champion takedowns, large minion kills, and large monster kills.
So you can just instant spawn more plants.
Yeah, if you kill like big minion.
That's really interesting.
I guess it sounds like they're trying to incentivize her to see out.
Hayden, feed me, see more.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's such a good meme.
Yeah,
holy shit, I haven't heard that since you were in that fucking play.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting because it's going to make Zyra gameplay more interactive. Because it wasn't really so interactive before. I mean, you just kind of blew your shit all over the screen, and then you had to wait a really long time for your cooldowns. Your Q's not really on a long cooldown, but it's also a really clunky, weird ability. So this is gonna like promote a lot of like aggressive Zyra play and a lot of different positioning, because this is gonna require Zyra to be in more aggressive locations because she's going to want to place her plants in farther and farther locations, especially if you're like winning a team fight or in long extended team fights. It could be very, very insane. So that's it for champions. As for items, Bramble Vest goes up to damage is going to be.
Oh,
this is
wow!
Secret Rammus nerf, or secret Rammus buff. Secret Rammus buff. Yay! No, but actually, yeah, 10% of bonus armor is going to be the damage reflect, which is going to be better because you're actually incentivized to build Bramble Vest like early and then finish Thornmail later. So it's, I mean, like they tried to de-incentivize that by reducing the Grievous Wounds duration, but it's still there. Even then,
Also
like,
super good on Malphite, dude.
yeah, alright, so let's see. Aura damage. Holy crap, that goes up by a lot, but the bonus damage to minions goes down, but that's fine, and these changes apply to Forge Fire as
One
well.
shit. Well,
Wow. So this is going to be super good. This might be the return of Renekton.
oh, 11 to 25 hold. Dude,
Yeah,
that's a lot of base damage.
Yeah, return of Renekton, question mark? Because,
Like,
like,
gonna be Sunfire.
yeah.
Maybe Shen isn't on the fucking.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, this damage, this is what makes Shen, this is actually going to help Shen a lot.
Replaces the base damage you lost on.
Yeah, I did not think about this. So everything I said about Shen and how, like, he's not going to be as good, if you buy Sunfire Cape, that just, like, negates everything I said.
Yeah, that might be why they nerfed him.
But remember, it takes a lot. Like, Sunfire Cape's, like, expensive. You can't get it that quickly.
Yeah, true.
So it is still going to hurt Shen in the early game.
Yeah.
But, like, for someone, like, I mean, like, if Renekton comes back, or, like, Bruisers in the top lane, because, like, tanks right now are in the top lane, which means carries are coming back to the top lane, which means Bruisers will end up coming back to the top lane, which means Renekton and Nasus and who else is like a good fighter in the top lane that uses Sunfire Cape? I can't
Sunfire?
Yeah, that's like a fighter, because like this is so much damage, like that it's gonna incentivize Bruisers.
I was gonna say Garen, but I don't think that.
I mean, like, Garen's like D tier and competitive, but
wait, actually,
well, I mean, D tier is like pretty much never used.
D tier? Come on, how you gonna do my boy Garen like that? No, but fighters that can use Sunfire top. I don't know. If it's buffed this much, I could see good like Aurelia.
Oh yeah, Aurelia! Wow. And Aurelia is like actually doing really good right now.
Oh yeah, with press the attack and shit.
Or lethal tempo. Because like you just get lethal tempo and like you max W. And
oh yeah, that's cool. Wait, that's way better than press the attack, dude.
Yeah. Press the attack's good if you play like
true damage.
Press the attack's really good on her still, because if you get Triforce, and you just like burst the fuck out of people, but. Whatever. Anyway, there are changes to runes. So press the attack. Exposure is now added to targets after the damage from the attack that applies it. I was expecting this to happen because I was like, why does the third auto attack also get buffed? Like, why?
Yeah.
Lethal tempo cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds, so this is a buff for lethal tempo, and you'll see lethal tempo come out. And this actually might revive Kog'Maw, because Kog'Maw like didn't really come out after the new runes, but that could bring him back. Fleet footwork getting small nerf early, but buff late, and then actually getting really big buffs. 40% AP heal ratio. So Fleet. And if the attack that activates Fleet Footwork is a critical hit, Fleet Footwork
40% increased healing if you crit.
Wow. So
I could see that like improving Corey's one shit, because that's pretty fucking strong.
Yeah, that'll be really good for crit ADCs, but not a lot of crit ADCs are really looking for that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. Like that may be viable on Corki mid. Especially in hard matchups, because in hard matchups you're going to want that mobility, you're going to want that healing, the sustain in the lane, because you're not going to be dueling a lot anyway. So it might be viable, because before Fleet Footwork was pretty much unheard of, but now maybe we might see that come out. And with a 40% AP scaling ratio on the heal, that's a huge fucking heal. We might see some AP carries come out with Fleet Footwork. Because like if someone with 700 AP comes out and just
someone who's like a
autos
Lich Bane user.
Yeah.
I could see like Fizz maybe.
Or if the
to
Lich Bane Ahri comes back? Question mark.
Oh my god, that would be sick. See your Kiner.
Because mid game is a very strong thing in competitive right now, and Ahri's mid game is really really strong because she's so good at catching people out in the jungle, and so that might be what makes her come out.
Dude,
it's just that
footwork and Gunblade.
Yeah, no.
That mid game is nasty.
Yeah. Gunblade, Lich Bane, Ahri, because like you kind of need that in order to kill people, because you're not going to take Electrocute, then you're not really going to have that much damage, because Ahri really, to be honest, Ahri's like not in a great spot right now by herself. But very interesting. Overheal got buffed, Triumph got nerfed, Presence of Mind got buffed. I love Presence of Mind, by the way. That's a really cool spell. And Overheal getting buffed is cool. It's not really that important though. Like this 10% different, it's not going to do that much. And then Coup de Grace got decreased from 10% to 9%. That's almost benign. So don't worry about that if you're a Coup de Grace user on carries. Domination, Eyeball Collection got reduced to 1 eyeball per assist. Hunter runes now show who you have killed and haven't killed. That's really good.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, that's really good.
Then you'll know who the fuck you actually have to kill to complete the fucking stacks.
Yeah, because sometimes you just forget.
Yeah.
Phase Rush. Melee Phase Rush users are almost universally outperforming their ranged co-patriots, for giving ranged users the slow resistance as well. Wow. Alright. And then Celerity got reduced movement speed from 4 to 3. Okay. Actually, that was broken because you took Celerity on Zoe and then you had like a million
you take
movement
it on
speed.
Random ass.
Yeah.
It was like the best one in the...
No, it was really good on Lux and Zoe and whoever is like long range and pokey.
Good on Sorcery, 80 carry. It just makes him more safe.
Yeah.
Take it on Varus, man. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's nerfed, so probably not.
Only by 1%. Yeah, it's not that much. It'll be a very minor change. It will be. It might be noticeable though, because movement speed changes are usually noticeable. Especially in lower elo, they're just more noticeable because I don't know. You fuckers chase each other around so far.
No, and they're.
Anyway, Mirror Shell. Magic resist increased to 6. I don't know why that happened. It's just 1 magic resist. That doesn't do anything. Marks on the wall. The plus HP text now appears above minions when you gain health from attacking them. Interesting. And then Revitalize now also boosts shields and heals cast on the user.
Oh.
I mean, it might be used now. Like this. Watch out for Revitalize.
Secondary and bot. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't like think off the top of my head who's going to use that because I have to go through like the entire rune page because there's just so much synergy with a lot of the runes right now.
Yeah. True.
But it's very
with
interesting.
The Triumph nerf, if you're going some like stupid shit at Varus, like you could take Resolve as a secondary and just give a good poke. I don't know why the fuck. I don't know why we take Resolve actually. Resolve.
Not bad. Alright, Kleptomancy no longer increases attack range by 25.
Feels bad.
Like that. It was a good meme. I
remember seeing it on the wiki.
It was a good meme. Good meme.
Yeah,
it's dead now though. It's dead. I mean, like Kleptomancy's like still viable in a couple cases. Like you're still gonna see it on Ezreal. You're still gonna see it on Gangplank. But that loot table mechanism updated to decrease variance in loot over time. I don't even know what the fuck they mean by that.
I feel like that means less consumables later? Like more elixirs maybe? Because you
do get a lot of like random shit that like doesn't make any sense. I don't know. You'll have to do experimenting to like really see how this changed because they're not giving us any information about this change. There might be information somewhere about it, like maybe on the PvE, but you gotta check that somewhere else and fix that. Anyway, alternate map runes balance. Holy shit! Dark Harvest got nerfed on ARAM.
Dark Harvest was pretty strong on A. Should have done it, man.
Wait. There was a twisted tree line change. Each altar is counted as potential unique bounty for bounty hunter. What? So you can get instead of getting just 3, you can get all 5. So you just have to get the altar at least once. Holy shit. Hey guys, they care about Twisted Tree Line. They care. That's important. Go Twisted Tree Line. Best game, man. Oh, and cool, a bunch of ability icons got updated. Whoa, health bar update. I think this is all just visual. 4K support. In-client champion bios. That's interesting. Parties. Added the ability to invite strangers from your party at the end of the game stream. That's really interesting. Clubs are back. Wait.
100 people in clubs.
Clubs can now have 100 members. Fixed a bug with
no
club
secret
tags.
Clubs.
No secret clubs. Fixed a bug with club tags in the games would sometimes not be visible anywhere except on the club page. I don't know how that happened, but alright.
New Snowdown skins.
Yeah, I can't wait for Snowdown Showdown this year.
Are they really bringing that back? Because that shit is so...
I want them to bring it back. Can we, Ryan, have you seen this video? Can we have Snowdown Showdown? Please? Snowdown emotes are coming. Legend of the Poro team's coming back. Snow Battle All Random Earth. Interesting. Alright. That looks like it's gonna be it. Oh, and there's gonna be a new Hextech skin. Look at it, it's Hextech Kog'Maw, it's cool as fuck.
Kog'Maw, yeah, I'm gonna sit. I was wondering why I was saving my...
No, you can't. I don't think you can buy that. I think that's gonna be one of those.
With gemstones?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to get it with gemstones.
Yeah, man, I have 7 of them.
Holy shit!
I've been saving these. Oh, they're coming out with Hextech Kog'Maw.
Alright. Well, that concludes our patch update. Thanks for watching, guys. My website will be fully functional, operational in 2 weeks. So keep updated for that. Make sure to go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment any questions that you may have about the patch or about League in general. But thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Signing off.
Hell yeah.